Your 8-minute question and answer period will now begin. What surprised you the most as you worked on your projects over the last year?
So with Last 20, one thing that really surprised us was just understanding how new and innovative plastic pavement technology was, and bringing that to the market was something challenging for us to do. And part of what we were trying to do with R&D testing was find the optimal mix to integrate waste plastics into pavement. And I'll pass it off to one of my colleagues to discuss first suds.
Yeah, so what really surprised us this year was how complex and lengthy the scaling process was. So we had a little bit of we had a lack of capacity due to COVID and due to increased demand. And so we signed on with a contract manufacturer, and it actually was a very lengthy process full of product testing and a lot of back and forth, a lot of negotiations. But thankfully, we took our time with it, and we're really happy with the partnership we've created.
How did you come up with the idea for your projects?
So for Last 20, we actually had quite a few pivots. Prior to doing our plastic pavement idea, we were actually selling shirts that were made of upcycled plastic water bottles. So we incorporated plastic bottles into the shirts that we sold. And what we found was that we really wanted to make a larger impact, and we weren't doing that with the shirts. And so as we were doing and conducting research, we saw that plastic pavement was a technology that was being used in India and has been for a number of years, but hasn't been introduced to the Canadian market. So we thought it would be a very interesting opportunity to bring such innovative technology to really disrupt the construction industry. I'll pass it off to someone else for URSUDS.
Yeah, URSA was actually founded in 2017 by Marissa Veteretti. She was participating in an IDO challenge, which is a circular design challenge in solving the plastic crisis. And she came up with an idea to put shampoo on paper, which would dissolve, obviously to get rid of the plastic waste created from toiletry bottles. And after 170 iterations, we landed on a tablet form, which is now being manufactured by a contract manufacturer, which is really, really exciting.
Have you engaged any subject matter experts in the development of your projects?
Yes, so for Last 20, we're actually partnered with an engineer that who has his PhD in plastic pavement and worked on the only other pilot that was conducted in Canada. So he helps us with preliminary testing to ensure the waste plastics is suitable for the asphalt mix design. And we also have other strategic partners such as our asphalt supplier and plastic supplier. So for our asphalt supplier, they have to find and use technology at their plant to incorporate this waste plastic into the asphalt mix. And for our plastic supplier, this is a proprietary source to us, but we had to find a plastic waste that would be suitable in large quantities to be used for these pilot projects.
And for URSUDS, we are partnered with the Accelerator Center. We're part of their incubation and their small businesses that they work with. And we work with mentors across any facet, any department. So we have marketing mentors and operational mentors and even product development mentors that have helped us really elevate and speed and streamline the processes as we scale.
Can you outline the costs related to the development of these projects?
Yes, so for R&D, most of our funding is actually allocated towards the testing, just because it is extremely rigorous and there's a lot of costs associated with using the proper technology and equipment. So that's where a lot of the costs are associated with our venture.
And for URSUDS, this was a very exciting year for us, but we also had to make a big investment in our contract manufacturer, which is another contributing factor to why we took our time with it. We wanted to ensure that this partnership was very sound and aligned really well with URSUD's goals. And from there, we made the investment to sign on with them and have a production run of 150,000 tablets in the process right now.
Do you have an exit strategy for your projects?
Yeah, I can take that one. So for URSUDS and Last 20 and all of our other enterprises at Enactus Laurier, we want to turn an idea to an actual properly functioning business. So we do this by being sustainable with our financials. And we want to ensure that every enterprise, when it does eventually exit, or if it eventually exits Enactus Laurier, that they will be fully sustainable and not need any external fundings to properly function.
Tell us about your project's marketing strategy to reach your target audience.
Yeah, for Earthsuds, our demographic is between women from 25, or sorry, not just women, anybody from 25 to 45 years old who are really looking to live sustainable lives. We really try to utilize social media, including Instagram, Facebook ads, to get to our target demographic to the best we can.
For Last 20, it's a little different because we're primarily in the construction sector. So we're targeting private contractors and municipalities. Our main vision is to eventually go into provincial road and construction highway markets. So for us, it's a lot of business development and external research that we're doing on our end. And we've actually already have received interest from over 5 parties that want to incorporate sustainable pavement into their operations and projects. And then more from on the business side, sharing our message to people globally. We've also developed a Sustainable Sessions podcast where we're leading conversations on climate change, hosting businesses and experts to share our mission, solutions, and inspire individual action, which we have to over 1,000 people in 27 different countries.
How are your projects funded?
So for Last 20, this year we raised an additional $23,000, which we earned through government funding as well as pitch competitions. So this is our initial funds that we've been using towards R&D testing. And right now we're really trying to show the viability and demonstrate a use case for plastic pavement. And so that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, and Ursud's revenue model is based off of selling our tablets. So we sell through 2 distribution channels. We sell through to retailers and then also through our e-commerce site, where we maintain a 32.5% weighted gross margin across all channels.
How did you manage to meet and plan for your projects as a team despite COVID-19 restrictions?
Yeah, at Earthsuds, while COVID-19 definitely had brought along its struggles, it affected our production capacity. We weren't able to go in with as many people as we would like to produce. We really utilized the online network to the best we could. We have Slack channels. We continuously get on weekly Zoom meetings between our departments, as a team as a whole, our VP meetings. So I think really the goal for us was just constant communication. Maybe we weren't seeing each other in person, but we have our phones, which is a pretty awesome way to communicate with each other.
Your time has now expired. Thank you, Nationals-Wilfrid Laurier University, Waterloo.